I am Elsie Bay and you are watching ESC Fan TV.
Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. It's Thursday night, the 20th of January 2022, which can mean only one thing. It means it's MGP 2022 Heat 2 time again. I really enjoyed last week. It was so much fun getting this Eurovision season back on track, and wow, what a selection of songs we heard. Tonight we're going to present the 4 competing songs in Saturday night's Heat 2, as well as the pre-qualified finalists, and we're going to give our opinions on those songs, but we actually want to hear your opinions. So those in the chat room, please send your comments through, and we're going to pop up on screen and tell the panel what you think. Let's meet the panel. I'd say a warm welcome to my tonight co-host, Elliot.
Hello, yes, I'm in charge of pushing some buttons tonight, so this should be fun. But yeah, if you'll let us know, because we want to hear from you.
We do. When aren't you pushing buttons, Elliot? That's just the point, really.
Good point.
It's a good point. And we're going to say hello to Joe. How are you doing, my lovely?
Hello, my dears. I'm very well. How are you? How's everyone? Hi.
Doing well. Thank you very much for asking. And all the way from Norway, we say a good evening to Morten. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm excited for tonight. It's a couple of songs that I really like, so I'm happy to just jump straight in.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. Some really good songs tonight, actually. Moving from Norway all the way to Denmark, we welcome back to the show Thomas. How are you, my friend?
Hi, thank you. It's great to be back. I'm excited to talk about some great songs.
Absolutely. Good to see you. From Denmark, we move a bit more south, don't we? We're going to go to see and say hello to Oben. How you doing, my friend?
It's Czech Republic, Stu. I think you forgot that.
I was thinking you were Cyprus, because at some point tonight you will mention Cyprus. Let's not forget that.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So happy that we're back again in such a short time.
It's great when you start doing the MGP season. We got some great songs, and it comes around so quickly. Right, so tonight 4 songs plus 1 direct qualifier. We are going to start the show. We're going to start with the first of our 4 competing entries, which will go forward to the Jewels on Saturday night. This is Kvelertak. So that was your first entry of the evening, Kvelertak by Daniel Lukas. We last saw Daniel back in MGP in 2013. This is very much groovy electro dance pop, dare I say, in the style of a certain Benjamin Ingrosso. Let's bring Morten in. Morten, tell us all about this young man. What do we need to know?
Well, what you need to know is that this is his first song on Spotify. So he's relatively unknown here in Norway. But the song has been streamed. One of the least of the MGP21 songs, probably because he's so unknown. But personally, it's one of my favorites in Melodi Grand Prix so far. It's unique. It's got a cool rhythm and feel to it, and his voice is good. It matches with the song, and he's talking about a thing that is so important to talk about, especially for boys. How like a relationship isn't good for the man and the woman, and how just things aren't easy for the man either, even though a lot of women are singing about that theme and song. So I think this song is good both for what it's about and also about the rhythm and how catchy it is as well.
Do we think this song is going to be one that needs the staging to really elevate it? Let's go to Elliot. Elliot, you're a resident choreographer. This song, to me, sounds pleasant, nice, not offensive. It doesn't really jump out at me, but I have a feeling this might be one that actually does it live. What are your thoughts?
I think I'm going to get then like a little plaque or something saying resident choreographer, because you and Tom seem to say it weekly now, so I'm just going to get something.
It's stuck, you know, it's there. It's out there now.
As for the song itself, yeah, the staging is going to need to lift this, because it's just, it goes along, it does its thing for 3 minutes, and then it falls out your brain again. For me, it has no impact, and I'm really not a big fan on the digitized vocals, to the point where it sounds almost auto-tuned, so it kind of like makes me a bit nervous. There's a few songs this year which Norway picked which have quite a few digitized vocals, and I get it, you know, synth is quite popular now, and you know, there's no now rule about all the vocals having to be live at Eurovision, so you may as well push the boat as far as you can. But I just don't see this setting the scoreboard or the votes alight on Saturday night, sadly. It's not a bad song, I just don't think it's strong enough against the 3 in its heat, sadly. So I think last week I said there was an argument for all 4 to qualify. I think this week, this one is just, I don't see it advancing, sadly.
We're going to find out, aren't we? Joe, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's pretty inoffensive. I mean, that's my very first thought. After Benjamin Ingrosso, which you guys have all beat me to, I've even written it down. This is very Benji-like. I know it wouldn't go wrong in Sweden, would it? Either this, you know, it's it could fit in anywhere. So, you know, fair play to him. This isn't a bad start, is it, to his career? So, whether it's his MGP career or whether it's his actual career. So, you know, he's not going to win. I wouldn't think it will win, but I can see him coming back next year and getting better and better every year with a better and better song. And you know, he sounds like a really sort of not good singer, nice lad, so to speak.
He does, and as we've said, you know, this could be one that really comes alive when we see it live on stage. Thomas, what are your thoughts on Kvelertak?
I think it's a nice radio-friendly song. Yeah, I think it's a bit boring, but a plain good pop song. I actually like the fact that he's not a pro, that he's an amateur singer. He sings it well, so yeah, maybe he could get the people's voice, people's vote.
Well, we're going to find out. And finally, Oben, you love an up-tempo number. Does this tick a lot of your boxes?
Stu, I love you for starting tonight with this song. Joe, you're not my favorite, stealing all my comments for this song. So, you know, Stu, I love when the artists like try to make us connect with their own language. And last year it was, for me, VR Norge did it all the way. I was a huge supporter. This year, Lukas, was it Daniel Lukas?
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite for Heat 2. And I think it's going to be a very close hit. I think all songs are equally unrecognizable. So I think it can be anyone's game, and I hope it's going to be Daniel's game tomorrow night, on Saturday night, sorry.
Thank you, Evan. Morten, final point from you. It's the only entry in this heat. In fact, it's only 1 or 2 heats being sung in Norwegian. Is that viewed as an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think in the big picture it's a disadvantage, because when I think on Saturday, when people are listening to the songs, a lot of people for the very first time, I think a lot of people will think, okay, we'll just push Daniel Lukas out because he sings in Norwegian and that can never win Eurovision, so we will not send him through, and then just look at the other 3 songs. So I might think that's a possibility. You know, Tix last year changed it from Norwegian to English in the final just because he thought that would be a bigger appeal, and it obviously was, because he won. So I think it's a disadvantage, but if the song is good enough, it's going through either way. So we'll just see.
Thank you, Morten. Elliot, what are the chat rooms saying?
The chat room seemed to be in a lot of agreement, saying it's quite nice, but they're not sure how to do. Several people are saying it's about sounds very Benjamin Ingrosso, as we can see. There's one there, and I do believe we did have another one, which I now cannot find. Martin is saying bring on the lighting rig, and we all love a good lighting rig in Eurovision, so why not?
It's definitely going to be a lighting rig, no question. Has to be.
And also these comments. So apparently I need to get a headband now. And Tom has referred to me as Anton Dubek.
To be fair, you had a headband. What the hell did you do with it? Last season, I'm sure you wore a headband every week.
They were a bandana, and I still have them just underneath my bed. So maybe on Saturday they'll come back out.
Go and get it during song 2.
No.
This is song 2. And if you think for 1 second you recognised a hint of Benjamin Ingrosso in that song, my word, you're going to have a field day with this one. Let's play song 2.
In the storm and in the night, I need you to hold me tight. Let me know that you are with me. In the sorrow and the pain, in the wind and the rain, let me know that you are with me tonight.
So it seems to be that country is the new black in Scandinavia this year. Steffen of Norway meets Steffen of Estilau. Just so happens the same name. Same song, same sounding song. Morten, I know you've heard all of the Estilau songs. They're obviously going to be drawing comparisons with the fact there's a song called Hope, which has a very similar country-esque type sound in Estilau. Who's Steffen? Because we want to know, and what is the view on this song?
Well, the funny thing is that when I heard Steffen from Estland the first time, I was obviously country is my favorite genre, like in a whole. And when I heard it, I was like, okay, this has to win Estilau, and if it doesn't, that's another time. But this song, also when I heard Steffen Jakobsen from Norway song for the first time, the first thing I did was draw a comparison between those two songs. And I still think the song in Estilau is a little bit better, but man, country is just so good, so you cannot get wrong with this song. I think it's incredible. His voice is outrageously good for a country singer. I mean, I heard a lot of his songs from when he was at Idol in 2013, I think. And he's just so good, and I can't wait to hear him live because I know it will be absolutely amazing. And the song, very good country song. It's got elements in it that has to make it a good country song, and I personally think this has a huge chance at going through on Saturday.
Thank you, Morten. Joe, I'm a massive fan of Hope in Estonia, and I have to say I like this too. Is it okay to like 2 country songs in one Eurovision season, or am I just going insane?
Of course it is. Of course it is. I love it. I'm exactly the same because I love Hope and I love this one as well. It's, you know, it's like, this will not go wrong in Easterlau. Oh, sorry, it's not Easterlau, it's MGP. That was my first thought. I was thinking, you know, I really did to start with, wonder if I was actually listening to, you know, I'd pick the wrong song up, I'd pick the wrong Steffen. But I love it. I absolutely do. I think it's one of those that because it's so diverse, this could get through. Because are there any other songs? Are there any other songs in the other semi-finals like this one? I don't think there are there? So this one could go there. To be fair, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I think it could do well. By the way, if you're wondering where Thomas has disappeared to, he has a technical issue and will be back shortly. But he said he loves the song. He really loves it. It's his favourite. I'm obviously kidding, but I'm sure he does love it. Let's go to Oben. Oben, he's got some deep vocals, hasn't he? I mean, they're so deep, his vocals. They're probably touching his balls. What's your thoughts on this song?
Actually, weirdly, country is not my thing, but I like this song. But on the other hand, I think country music, this genre is very out of Norwegian public's comfort zone. I know Morten said he loves it, but I don't remember what was the last time Norway sent anything close to this. So I am not sure if it's gonna relate to the majority of the Norwegian viewer. But I think quality-wise, vocal-wise, the song, the music, the melody, the lyrics, everything is spot on. Everything about it, I love it.
Thank you, Urban. Thomas, good to see you back. We're just saying you had a few little technical issues that you've resolved. What are your thoughts on "With Me Tonight" by Steffen? Steffen in MGP, not SD Lau.
I like it. Who doesn't like a good Western song? His voice, my God, amazing, deep, powerful. Yeah, a foot-bopping song. What's not to like?
Love it. Do we think he's going to come out riding horseback with leather chaps on? Do we think? Talking of someone who loves leather chaps, Elliot, what are your thoughts on this particular song?
I told you that in confidence. No, so I'd hate to be the one to throw a bucket of water on this lovely campfire we've got going about this song, but it's no. Sorry, no, I do not like this song. And I normally love country music. And, you know, I do, but it's so country. I can smell the moonshine from here. And it's just, no, I don't like Hope in SD Lau either. I think that's generic and bland. And I think this is the same. I do not like just generic country like this. It's a no from me. Saying that, it's probably going to qualify now on Saturday. But his voice is great. He can sing fine. But it's a really sort of like old school country which you either love or you really don't like. In this sort of country, I really cannot get on board with, sadly. I know I'm the only one here that thinks that, but it's not for me. I'm sorry, guys. You can all send your flamethrowers and pitchforks to me. It's fine.
I think it's wonderful, but I respect your opinion. I mean, for me, it sounds like something out of a Clint Eastwood movie. That's what I was looking for. I was searching for that deep. Yeah, I think there's something really powerful about country Eurovision, and I don't recall outside of maybe Germany 2006 since we've had a Eurovision entry that's been country-esque. Have we? Can anyone correct me on that? Have we had a country? Probably not. And
Joan Franca was quite country.
Yeah, kind of, I
Not
suppose.
fully,
Yeah.
but ish.
How about Debbie Bob?
Oh, yeah,
Dale Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I take it all back. I'm talking bollocks again. Anyway, there you go. What did the chat room have to say?
Victor Crone, he was another one.
Yeah, you made your point, Joe.
Thanks, it's all right.
Valen. Wasn't it country as well?
Do you want a host? Right, what did the chat room have to say?
Well, firstly, Tom is just asking what's wrong with a bit of moonshine. You tell me.
He's drinking it right now. He should be on the show. Get your ass back here.
Exactly, that's why he's not here. So they're saying country's not really a thing in Europe. They're not sure. Annie seems to be a big fan of it. They might be 3 with Anna Bergendahl. And sorry, I've just got to say this. We've had several people mention about the common linnets. So, and sticking with the Dutch theme, Whalen as well. So basically, Stuart, just go back in the Netherlands the last 10 years, and there's your country quota.
Yeah, I'm obviously gonna be editing this show incredibly highly when we finish it. But thank you very much. Keep your comments coming in. We want to hear from the chat room. You are more. I'm not even going to bother reading that. That's more Brokeback Mountain than Clint Eastwood for me. But there we go. That was your song 2. Keep your comments coming in, people. We want to hear from you. And we especially want to hear what you think about the songs and whether you think our panel are right or very, very wrong. That was your first 2. 2 more in the duels. This is lowering down a little bit to a bit more of a ballad. This is Dangerous by Farida.
I'm dangerous, dangerous. You can try, but there's no stopping me.
Yeah, beautiful and emotional. We've already had one stunning ballad in MGP last week, but a direct qualifier. This week we've got one in the qualifying round. It's Dangerous by Farida. Morten, what are the thoughts of people in Norway with this particular song? The more I listen to it, the more I think this has a really good chance of qualifying Saturday night. What are the Norwegians saying?
It is very split. Some think this is the only song that can go through in this semi-final. It's just in another league, another level. And if you see on my Eurovision scoreboard, the app, this is on 3rd place, I think, of all the 21 songs. So it's highly rated as well outside of Norway. But if you look at the odds as well, it's one of the lowest of the entire 21 songs. So it's very split between everyone. Personally, I think this is one of the weaker songs, especially in this semi-final. It's just, when I heard Death of Us by Elsie Bay last Saturday, I can't compare it to this, because this song, it more wants me to sleep than listen to it. She's got a nice voice. There's some nice elements in it, but it just doesn't take me anywhere, and that's what a ballad has to do.
I agree. I'm surprised. So basically, no is the answer. It's not going to qualify. So, thanks, Morten. Joe, you really weren't a massive fan of Death of Us last week. You were probably one of the few that didn't like it. How does this one compare?
Not as good, believe it or not, and I wasn't a fan. I don't dislike this song, but I totally agree with Morten. It doesn't go anywhere. It just absolutely doesn't go anywhere. It tends to sort of, it's quite melodic. You drift off a little bit, and then it's like, oh, okay, it's over. And it doesn't sort of go any, it sort of doesn't, there's no crescendos, there's nothing to it at the end. So, but at least with Elsie, I felt a little bit, it did that a little bit more. So I think if this one gets through, then the fact that there'd be two very similar songs in the final may go against both of the artists. So I don't think this will go through, if I'm honest.
I do think of America and her song last year in MGP. When I hear this, I must admit I find them two relatively similar, and I'm almost expecting a really strong emotional performance on stage on Saturday night. That's what I think Farida has to bring to have a chance of qualifying. Oben, you were a massive fan of Elsie Bay last week. How do you rate Farida's Dangerous?
I found this song very unusual in terms of composition, and I think there's a little bit surprises throughout the 3-minute song. There are like there's moments every now and then keeps you still intrigued and carried on and holding on to your attention. So I think it's a very smart way of composing song. It's very innovative, very unusual. And I think solely that reason it might qualify, but I think Death of Us is a better song than Dangerous, and I think it's a song that serves to a wider crowd. So this song might qualify, but I think the song at the end doesn't have a chance to win the whole thing, I think.
Thank you, Oben. Thomas, how do you rate the chances of Dangerous, and how do you think Farida needs to perform this on stage Saturday night to have a chance of making it through to the live final?
I expect the staging to be in a dark theme. I expect it to be emotional, and that's what you have to do. It has to be kept dark. Maybe she comes to the golden final, but that's it. I don't think she's going to win.
Thank you, Thomas. Interesting. Elliot, you had the very good fortune of meeting Elsie this week. We saw an ode to her interview at the start of the show, which will drop at some point over the weekend. This is another similar sounding song, perhaps not directly in the same genre as Elsie Bay's song, but does this have the ability to deliver on stage with the right staging and the right performance?
In a word, yes. I know we're not the biggest fans of it tonight, and there are some people in the chat room saying it is a bit boring, but some are saying it's quite Bondish and it's quite mysterious, and that can work for it. With the right staging and the right atmosphere, it could be a contender to win. And that's not just this weekend. I think, if things fall right, this could be Norway's song. Obviously, It's going against LC Bay if it makes the final, and that could cancel it out, and that will be a big test. And I think at that point, the running order will play a big point in it. But yeah, if things go its way, this could be a surprise in the top 4 in the final. I do agree, though, it's lacking just a little something to really make it a definite in my head that it's a contender. Whereas where you've got LC's song, it does change a bit and it does keep you guessing. This one doesn't as much. I think that is its detriment. And we do keep saying about having variety in the final, and I do think that's the only thing I can see stop it making the finals. People go, we've already got a female young ballad in the final. Do we need a second one?
Yeah, I could see that. Well, best of luck to Farida on Saturday night. And the fourth and final song competing for a place at the final is something very, very different. Let's head back to the 80s. Who can beat a bit of powerhouse, eccentric 80s rock? I mean, I think that's fantastic, but it's my personal taste. Takes me back to Melfest 2014. I remember EKO and the song Red in Melodi Festival some years ago. Very, very similar.
Oh, don't
very,
remind
very
me.
similar. Well, I love that one too. There are sections in this song which sound a little bit like Hard Rock Hallelujah. Go and have a little listen and see if you can find them too. Yeah, I love the vocal on it as well. I hope she can deliver this live. Morten, let's start with yourself again. What are the views and thoughts on Lily Lowe's chance on Saturday night? Are people in Norway liking this rock, this sort of 80s style rock, or is there a view that it's dated and just doesn't stand a chance?
And just like Farida, this is very split. Maybe not as split because, well, I know one of my friends has this as their number one song. Now, two of my friends actually has this as their number one song in Melodi Grand Prix. Like of all the 21 songs. And me personally, I have it last on 21st place. It's not because of the song is bad, it's just because it is my genre. When I listen to all the 21 songs in a row, I mean, this was Dance Like a Pink Flamingo was also in this type of genre, but it was something crazy and new, so I had to put it over it. But I think it's just isn't for me. I can understand why people love this because it has a nice 80s tune to it. It reminds you of a couple of other songs, just like you mentioned, Stuart, like Hard Rock Hallelujah. So it has some winning. Like you can taste this maybe winning the semi-final, but will it? I'm not so sure, but it might possibly do so.
Thomas, what are your thoughts on this? Could this go big Saturday night, do you think?
It absolutely could. Now we're talking. A great rock song, the female version of Jorn. What's not to like? She's amazing. Great voice. Yeah, just love it. She can win.
I really like it too. I really do. You're a bad, bad baby for love. Who could not like those lyrics? Oban, what are your thoughts?
I'm really conflicted with this one because I didn't like I know that it's a rock song, and I know that it's supposed to be loud, but I didn't like the fact that it's just I couldn't hear her voice, and it's just it's just lost in all this rock sound. And at first, when I first listening, is it like a man, is a woman, is it like a trans woman? Who are we listening? It just I was just then I just needed to look at the picture and look up for her, and then I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about this one.
Is anyone else getting the feeling that Tom's actually just sat at home watching the show?
He has just said earlier he's curled up on the sofa with ice cream and gin and tonic, so yes.
He's just taken the night off. He's hoodwinked me is what he's done. Thank you very much, Oban. Joe, I know you're going to love this. I just know you're going to love it. Tell me why you love it, my love.
Because I'm an 80s rock chick there, Stu. You know that. I am literally, let's face it, out of everyone here, I've said last week, I've lived the 80s. I just don't know about the 80s. I lived it. This reminds me a lot of a really favourite singer of mine called Pat Benatar. In the 80s, I was mad on her. And I do think there's a little bit of Pat in it, I have to say. So she's amazing. And I just hope that Lily can perform on the night. It's got a really good performance, great staging. I hope she actually shouts as much as she wants, as long as she sings it really well as well. And it will go through. As long as it's not paired with Steffen, because that's my ideal goal final, Lily against Steffen.
Could very well be. Could very well be. Elliot or Tom Light. Tom number 2. What are the chat rooms saying? And on a personal level, do you think this stands a chance of qualifying on Saturday?
Well, the chat room is a bit split. So Lee says he does love some good 80s music. Anya says it's her favourite. Tom has said it could do very well. So I'm sorry, Joe. There's his kiss of death for the week, even he's not here.
Yeah.
David's saying it's an okay rock song. But Soul for Sweet is just saying it's just basically too repetitive. And
which echoes what Morton was saying about feeling a bit split, I guess.
And yeah, it's fine, it's good. I'm expecting a lot of fire. I'm expecting, all the, I don't say typical tropes, but, the expected tropes from an 80s rock song which sound like this. And, it is a bit diverse. It is going to stand out in this heat and it will stand out in the final. I do think she can sing live because I don't think you could sing like that in the studio and then not be able to do it live, to be honest. I just think it just translates. So this could be the winner on Saturday night. I won't rule this out completely, but is it a contender to win if it does make the final? I don't think so. It's not a bad song, but it's not a winner of MGP by any stretch of the imagination in my mind.
Thank you, Elliot. And thank you to the panel. In a second, we're going to ask our panel who they think will qualify. We're going to ask.
He's really on one today.
It's quite infuriating when you can't. You're trying to speak and you see these wonderful comments pop up. Thank you, Tom. You can take the piss out of me all you like on Saturday night. I should be enjoying a Thai meal somewhere. We're going to ask the panel what they think will qualify. But before we do that, and also those in the chat room, start thinking about who you think can qualify Saturday night because we want to hear from you too. But before we do that, let's hear the direct qualifier. And if you're thinking 1990s pop, you might see a familiar face here.
Takes me, I wanna wake up next to you. Wanna watch your body move. You're so beautiful, it hurts. What a wonder of the world to be loved by you.
There we have it. Christian Ingebrigtsen with Wonder of the World. If you didn't know, he was a former singer in the UK band A1, who also took part in Melodi Grand Prix some years ago. Let's go to Morten. Morten, how well known is Christian in Norway these days?
Very well known. Mostly because, number one, he was a part of A1. And number two, he wrote the song Attention for Ulrike 2 years ago. So he's very well known. So when now he's going to compete alone, a lot of people had high expectations, me included. And I actually think this has been, of all the Melodi Grand Prix songs, has been the biggest grower from when I first heard it until now, because the first time I heard it, I didn't feel anything, but now it just takes me on a roller coaster ride of emotions in a positive way, of course. It's great melodies, and I love the violin. I love his voice with the song, especially. When it comes to the final, I don't see him winning, but I see this as a good final song that deserves to have a place there. But it's not going to win, and I'm very excited for watching it, how it will be performed on stage on Saturday.
Thank you, Morten. I think it's always interesting when you see the direct qualifiers, because last week I was very convinced that Elsie Bays would have won that semi-final, that heat one, sorry, if she was in the heat, but she wasn't. She was a direct finalist. Martin put a very interesting comment. He's not convinced this might have qualified if it was in the heat. Let's go to Oban for this next one. Oban, do you believe that? Do you believe this might have struggled if it was in the heat itself, or do you understand why it was a direct qualifier?
I really have no idea why this one is a direct qualifier. I see nothing special. I can understand that it's a very good quality song. It's very well composed, a very good vocal, but so as any other songs in the whole selection period. So I don't know what did they see, like the spark, the thing that they believe that this song could be one of the contenders to win the whole thing, or it's just a royalty act. It's just out of respect. I don't know what was it, but it's a little bit too Disney, no? I really think it's too princessy. It's a very princessy song. I don't know.
It's a good point. Yeah, it does feel a bit Disney. You're right.
What? There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't see it's being competitive in that regards.
Interesting. Thank you, Oban. Do you agree, Thomas? Do you see it as being a bit Disney and perhaps a little bit too sweet to win an MGP, or could this be the dark outsider to go on and win the whole competition?
It's not going to win the whole thing. I'm very split on this one. The first couple of times I've listened to it, I thought, oh my god, that's boring. I almost turned it off. But after 4, 5, 6 listens, I think it's quite okay. I think it needs a little more at the end. It's kind of flat for me. Yes, it's well sung. He is well known. He knows the big stage best. But he have to give a very emotional performance to keep his score up there.
Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, so just a reminder, this is already qualified. This is in the final, this song. And we'll talk about who we think will qualify from the first 4 songs we heard shortly. Joe, you're a huge fan of Christian Ingebrigtsen. And yes, he was in a very famous UK-based pop act some years ago now. But he is also a very well-established and well-known songwriter. And as Morten mentioned, wrote the winning song for Norway a couple of years ago, which never, sadly, got to go to Eurovision. This is a nice ballad, probably not spectacular, but does he have the ability to deliver this so well live that it may elevate it as a potential contender?
I think you've got it there, Stu. Absolutely spot on. Because I am a massive fan of his, and Annie's in the chat room will tell you. I mean, we met him a few years ago after, at the after party at MGP in 2020, and yes, he's a lovely guy. He's got a fabulous voice, and he's really popular. And yeah, I think what will happen is he'll go out there, he'll absolutely nail it. And whatever you do, don't even, like on Saturday, don't even think, oh, this is disappointing. Wait till the final, wait till he goes to the final. And whatever he does on Saturday, he'll go up a notch. And yes, I do. I think he could end up in the gold final on Saturday. I really do. And the one thing I would say is if it's a case of a ballad versus the quirky, watch out Elsie Bay. That's what I'm going to say, because I think this one could overtake Elsie Bay.
Interesting. Thank you, Joe. Of course, we haven't talked about Wolves and Bananas yet. Elliot, what are the chat rooms saying? And Same question to you, really. I mean, this is a very, very sweet ballad, and actually it does build, and I think it's growing in popularity. What's your thoughts?
Well, first I want to say Annie is a big fan of Christian Ingebrigtsen, by the looks of things.
That means she has his picture on her wall, I suspect.
I mean, true. Lee is saying, does this deserve to be an automatic qualifier, which is quite a statement. And as we said earlier, Mel, he doesn't need to qualify for the final. He's already there. I do partly think he did get put straight through to the final based on his name slightly. Because when it was just before the names came out, his name was one of the big rumoured names, and only a few dropped and his name was there. And I instantly got very excited. I thought, oh, this is the person who wrote Attention with Moreland, so he's clearly a very established, talented songwriter. And then, yeah, it's just a bit of your traditional run-of-the-mill, sad boy, lovey song about someone and how amazing they are and how beautiful they are to be in your life and la-di-da-di-da, yeah. But I agree with Joe. He is not going to go 100% on Saturday because he doesn't need to. And so when it does matter on the 19th, he will find that extra gear. And if he can perform that well, yeah, he could be the winner. Would it be my pick for Norway to send? No. But if he is the best on the 19th, then sure, why not send this song, which has got massive jury appeal? Anyway, and he's an established singer. He's done this for, God knows how many years, so he knows how to perform on the stage. It's very interesting. And as like this, Joe said, look, watch out for Elsie. I think that is the deciding factor. You've got an experienced artist against a very new up-and-coming artist, so it makes a very interesting dynamic in the final. Is it my pick? No. Can I see this doing well? Yes. Am I slightly disappointed? Yes, because I was quite excited that Christian was competing for himself. And I don't know, I just wanted something a little different from him. It's not a bad song at all. It's just not for me, but I'm not his target audience.
I think that's fair. And do you know what? It's all in the performance. It always changes the mindset when you see that person live, or that band or that artist live on stage. Yes, Mel said that's next week. We're going to talk about wolves and bananas next week. Thanks to everyone in the chat room. Tell us who you think out of the 4 competing songs, that's Kvelertak, With Me Tonight, Dangerous and Bad Baby, you think will win this Saturday night. Who's going through to the live final? I'm going to ask my panel, and as we're going through, Elliot's going to put your thoughts up on screen. But let's start with Thomas. Thomas, who would you send to the final and why?
Definitely Lily with Bad Baby. It's just the best song this week.
Thank you, Thomas. Well, we've had 2 in for Dangerous so far. 1 for Lily Low. Oban, do I even need to ask you? It looks like you've well and truly nailed your choice to the wall there.
I am for my friend here, Daniel, all the way. I really need at least one Norwegian song in that final. So, and why not this one? It's a good one. Go for it.
It sure is. Joe, I don't even think I need to ask you. I could guess that a mile off.
I bet you can't. Yeah.
Ooh, you're going to shock me.
Yeah. Okay, this is a really, really tough one. Because I like Lily and Steffen, and I'm really struggling. I'm going to go for Steffen only because no one's gone for him yet, and also because it's different. I think Lily, as amazing as she is, I think Steffen's got more of a chance of winning because it is a different genre song. There you go.
Thank you, Joe. Oh, I wasn't expecting that, actually.
Okay.
There we go. We've seen some interesting ones coming up before I go to Morton and Elliot. Farida, we've seen Steffen and Lily. Haven't seen Daniel much. That was the first time I've seen Daniel in the top 4 there. Steffen, yeah, absolutely. Kiss of death, Tom. We'll see you on Saturday night. Morton, who would be your pick? And tell us who the Norwegians are currently plumbing for.
It's so difficult. I mean, this is one of the closest semifinals in my eyes of the 4. I wish Daniel Lukas would go through with Kvelertak, but I just know he isn't, so that breaks my heart, but I hope so. I want Steffen to go through, but it's probably going to be Lily, just because I I had such bad luck in semi-final 1 with Frode. So, but I hope Steffen with me tonight. I've got to stick with my country boy.
Thank you, Morten. And last but not least, Elliot, who would be your pick?
Firstly, it was not bad luck for Löwe got through because he was the best Morten, so yeah. I will fight you on this. I said my piece last Saturday and I will stand by that every week. Who's going to get through? It's difficult. I'm going to say Lily because I think she is the biggest standout from the genres. I think she's going to stand out and she's going to deliver something quite special on stage. If I could pick, though, it would be Farida, but I think it will be Lily.
So I think it's a mixed bag, isn't it? Steffen, Lily, and one Daniel. I'll go Lily as well. I think Lily might just do it. But then, you know what? Sod it. I'm going to go Daniel. There you go, Open. You got 2. So we're completely split. We're on the fence as always at ESC Fan TV. People, listen up. We got some great content coming your way. Keep an eye open for Elsie Bay's interview with no one else but Elliot, my co-host for this evening, Tom number 2. And you can also catch ESC Fan TV back here live Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. Central European Time, straight after MGP has aired. We'll be back giving you our reactions to who went through and basically editing over tonight's show because we'll be absolutely wrong. So join us and join the chat room and tell us who you felt should have qualified and who actually did qualify and whether they should have qualified. That's what Saturday night's all about. And then join us back here the following Thursday when we're going to do it all over again. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my panel. Big thank you to Thomas. Great to see you back.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait to see the 5 acts on Saturday.
Yeah, me too. Good. Huge thank you to Oben. Good to see you, my friend.
Dobry wieczór, Europa.
Huge thank you to Joe. I can't wait for Saturday. I'm excited.
Oh, of course, and me too. Love it all the time. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your comments as well. Great fun. Thanks. Thank
you to Morten.
Thanks for having me. See you next Thursday talking about wolves and bananas and everything.
I just feel like next week's show is going to be all about bananas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elliot's going to absolutely love himself. Elliot, been great. Great having you as co-host again tonight. It's been a little while, but it's been fun.
Yeah, it has actually. Thank you. It's been a great fun show as always. Thank you to everyone in the chat room. Your comments have been on point as always. I love reading them. It's generally so much fun seeing what you guys think of the comments you put out. I absolutely love it. So please keep them coming to me now in May because it makes us look a bit normal as well. Who would have thought that?
It does, doesn't it? There is 2 more things you guys in the chat room can do for us this evening. Give us a like. Click that like button. At the end of this broadcast, go into the comments section and leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about tonight's show, why you liked it, why you hated it. And also, if you haven't already, do what that little ticker says at the bottom of the screen. Ding a dong our bell. We love it when you ding our bell. Because then we tell you when we go live, and you do not want to miss a thing here at ESC Fan TV. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone in the chat room. We love you so, so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy Melodi Grand Prix, and we will see you here Saturday evening and next Thursday. Bye-bye for now.